Well, so what were we need some like New Year's goals maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Or some direction. It doesn't have to be goals even necessarily. We worked on a couple of Christmas tunes, resurrected a few.
Yeah.
And then if you had needed to play any of the easy ones, the Frosties or Rudolphs, I'm sure you could have, from the charts they would have had and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, any thoughts on things? Do we need to work on more intricate flat picking?
Maybe. I'm still keeping Here Comes the Sun.
Okay.
And I know that's one, because I actually went back and watched some of your stuff from the site.
Okay.
Just kind of refresh my memory. And I know you advocated the, kind of bigger strokes and more notes.
Yeah, and not worrying about individual strings.
Yeah.
The melody will come out if you just rough it out.
And I'm still trying to get more into the individual strings because I hope, at least what I'm trying to conjure up with that, is that it's going to help me with accuracy.
Yeah.
So I'm really kind of focused on that. I think the other thing I would focus on is maybe, I don't want to say more challenging. I do want to.
No, I think that's a good plan. Wait.
But I want to try and get, I'm going to really open myself up, but I really got to get better with theory. I really need to get, maybe like triads and that type of thing, because I still have your charts from triads. And the world is still kind of like a big oyster with the music.
Yeah.
And there's a lot I want to learn, but there's just a finite amount of time, and I just try to be cautious that I'm biting off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
And think something's going to slip.
Yeah.
So,
if I had to pick like a place to start with that, which may not necessarily be the very beginning, but it may be where it sort of gets practical for learning songs and things like that. A more important one to know, and I think you already have a handle on this, is what chords are in what keys.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing, and it'll help like memorize chord progressions if you take a song like Take Me Home Country Roads and learn the chords by numbers, by what numbers they are in the key, and then practice playing it in a different key. So essentially being able to transpose, and it's almost like a slide rule type function. So if you were playing Teach Your Children, what are the chords? Okay, starts on D. You're on the road.
Changes from D.
Okay, so what key is it in?
D.
And so what other chords are in the key of D? What are the other major chords in D?
G and A.
Right. Now why did you go to C when you were looking for that third chord? Because, the C goes with some of these chords too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you could hear when you went to C that it wasn't the right match.
Right.
Okay? But C is played in another key with which two of those chords?
G, C.
Right. And so what numbers are those in G?
1, 4, 5.
Yeah. And so and now when we played Teach Your Children, how did the progression go numerically?
Key of D, so it started on the root, or started on 1.
Right.
The 4 to 5. D.
Sing the song again in your head as you do this.
Oh wait, it went back and forth.
Okay.
It did go 1, 4, 5 eventually, but it didn't start that way. 4. 1.
Okay. So what do you got?
1, 4, 1, 5.
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about, is having the numerical representation of the chord progression.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might decide, well, you know what, this is not the best key for me to sing it in. Maybe I should do it in C. I'd rather do it a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
So now you go to C, and the first thing you do is you refresh what are those chords going to be.
C, F, and G.
Okay, play it. There you go. Okay, and now it's a little easier to sing because we're singing down a little bit lower. You know, and with songs like that are just strumming, kind of campfire generic songs. It's not as important that it doesn't have anything unique going on the guitar that you can do, like the song I just played for you. I couldn't play that in another key. It only works in the key of A because of all the little melodic things and all the fancy stuff that goes along with it. And so it's not transposable that way without like maybe just using a capo to make it a little higher if I decided I wanted to sing it or something like that. But to change the keys on that, it would have to be completely rearranged. Okay? But with a song like Teach Your Children, you can play it in any key, and you should be really quickly familiar with the 5 keys we play in all the time on the guitar. We just talked about 2 of them, and so being able to get to 1, 4, and 5 quickly in these 5 keys is a really, kind of a small chunk to bite off, and especially if you start first with just songs that are only one, or that only use maybe 3 or 4 chords.